Good morning, my dear students. Today, I will discuss about the concept of photoelectric cells, types of photoelectric cells, and de Broglie's wavelength, de Broglie's matter waves. Say here, what is meant by photoelectric cell? Photoelectric cell means it is a device used to convert light energy into electrical energy. So, a device which converts light energy into electrical energy is called photoelectric cell or simply photocell. Generally, photocells are mainly divided into three types. They are called photoemissive cells, photoconductive cells, third one photovoltaic cells. These are the types of photoelectric cells. First one is photoemissive cell. Second one, photoconductive cell. Third one is photovoltaic cell. So first one, what is the construction and working of a photoemissive cell? So my dear students, it is only for our knowledge. This total concept is need not for our IPE point of view and also objective point of view. Only some theory bits are came from photoelectric cell concept, right? Please understand. So this is the construction of the photoemissive cell. In general, it is a plate C. This is the plate A. The plate C is connected to negative plate of the battery. A is connected to positive plate of the cell through a resistance capital R. That's why C is called the cathode, A is known as the anode. Again, on the plate C, a photoelectric material is compulsory, lying on the plate C. This is the photoelectric substance which is coated on the plate C. Photoelectric material like sodium, potassium and so on. Suppose some sodium metal is coated on the plate C. Now again, some ultraviolet light or UV light means it is having low wavelength and maximum energy. UV light is made to incident on the cathode plate such that later electrons are emitted from the photometal. These electrons emitted from the photometal are called photoelectrons, and these electrons are strongly attracted towards the positive plate which is called as anode. Both here C and A both are lying inside the cylindrical tube. This is also highly evacuated cylindrical glass or quartz bulb. Highly evacuated means pressure inside the bulb is equivalent to approximately 0. Now the electrons coming out from the cathode C, they are strongly attracted towards the anode, which constitutes the photoelectric current in the external circuit. That means this is the light. When a light is made to incident on the photometal cathode surface, electrons are ejected from it. These electrons are strongly attracted towards the anode and the electrons are moving like this. They constitute the photoelectric current inside the circuit. That means light energy converts into electrical energy. Are you understand? Light energy converts into electrical energy. So this type of cell is called as the photoemissive cell. Photoemissive cell means by the emission of photoelectrons, photoelectric current will be produced inside the external circuit. That's why it is called as the photoemissive cell. Right? So it consists of a photosensitive cathode C and anode A. They are enclosed in a evacuated glass bulb. When a light of frequency nu and nu is greater than nu naught means threshold frequency is made to fall on the cathode C, photoelectrons are emitted from it. These photoelectrons are attracted by the anode A to constitute the current in the external circuit. Now again, these photoemissive cells are also classified into two types. First one is called as the vacuum type photoemissive cell. Second one, gas filled photoemissive cells. And then very simple. In between cathode and anode, completely evacuated medium means there is no air medium in between cathode and anode or inside the glass bulb. That type of cells are called as the photoemissive cells. Say for example, inside the glass tube there is no medium, means photoelectrons are incident on the cathode surface. Light is incident on the cathode surface, later electrons are emitted from it. These electrons are constitutes the photoelectric current. This is very instantaneous process. In this case, the intensity of incident light is almost directly proportional to photoelectric current. On increasing the intensity, photoelectric current increases, photoelectrons also increases. So in type of vacuum type photoemissive cells, photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of the incident light. Now also photoelectric current, suppose here photoelectric current in this case is directly proportional to intensity. Generally the type of vacuum type cells are used in photometry and also in televisions. But inside this glass bulb there is a medium. Means some gaseous medium is introduced in between cathode and anode. Inert gases. Suppose the electrons coming out from the cathode, they are once again interact with the gaseous atoms or gaseous molecules. When the electron which can collide with the gaseous atom, this may produce one more electron also. This is the given electron and this is the electron emitted from the atom. Number of electrons will be increases. If the second electron also collide with the surrounding atom, it may also emit some of the electron. Number of electrons is equal to 2. That means the photoelectric current in the external circuit is not directly proportional to intensity of the incident light. Okay, na? Because there is some collisions among electrons and also molecules of the gaseous medium. Due to this collision, some more electrons also produced. These electrons are also attracted towards the anode and they constitute the larger current in the external circuit. So in this type, gas-filled photoemissive cells, photoelectric current is not directly proportional to intensity of incident light. But these type of cells are generally used in recording and reproduction of sound on film tracks. For sound recording on the film tracks, reproduction of sound, compulsory these gas-filled types of photoemissive cells are used. Okay, na? Right. So this is called as the photoemissive cells and also types of photoemissive cells. Remember one point here. In case of vacuum type photoemissive cells, current is directly proportional to intensity of the incident light. In case of gas-filled photoemissive cells, current is not directly proportional to intensity of the incident light. This is one of the most important point. Next one, the second one is photoconductive cells. Second one is photoconductive cell. The construction of the photoconductive cell is as shown in the figure. This is the positive terminal and this is the negative terminal battery. This is an iron plate, large iron plate. On the iron plate, there is a semiconducting material which is mounted on the iron plate. Again, on the semiconductor, there is a transparent foil of metal. Transparent foil of metal means silver material. It is taken in the form of very thin film that is mounted on the semiconducting material. Again, in between this transparent foil and also iron plate, a battery is connected through a resistance coupler. This is the construction of the photoconductive cell. Here, what is the working principle of the photoconductive cells? Suppose here, when a light of sufficient energy is made to incident on the semiconductor, this light can heat up the semiconductor. On heating, the resistance of the semiconductor will be decreases. Remember this point. In case of semiconductors, catalyst is proportional to 1 by temperature. On increasing the temperature, resistance of the semiconductor decreases. But in case of a metal, R is directly proportional to delta theta. On increasing the temperature, resistance of the metal also increases, conductor also increases. Suppose here a light of sufficient energy is made to incident on the semiconductor. This light will heat up the semiconductor so that the resistance of the semiconductor decreases. If the resistance decreases, the current starts flowing through the external circuit from the battery. Generally, battery positive polarity is connected to this transparent foil. Negative polarity is connected to iron plate. These two will provide a potential difference. Again, resistance in between these two terminals will be decreases. That means there is an ability to flow of electrons inside the closed circuit. Right. So the cell is based on the fact that electrical resistance of the certain semiconductors decreases with increase in intensity of light. When a light of sufficient energy is allowed to fall on a transparent film, the electrical resistance of the semiconductor decreases and hence current starts flowing in the battery circuit. There is a time lag between incident light and also photoelectric current. Hence, this type of cells are rarely used in the practicals. This is the photoconductive cells. Third one is photovoltaic cell. This is the construction. This photovoltaic cell consists of, there is no battery inside the circuit. But here, this is a copper plate. On the copper plate, a thin layer of cuprous oxide will be mounted on it. Again, on this cuprous oxide, there is a silver foil is connected. In between silver foil and also copper, there is a resistance connected in the form of a closed circuit. Here also, when a light is made to incident on the cuprous oxide, later photoelectrons are emitted from it. Cuprous oxide, it is called as a photometal. Later photoelectrons emitted from it. These photoelectrons are attracted by the silver, so that silver getting the positive and copper getting the negative. So this layer becomes positive polarity, this one becomes the negative polarity. That means there is a potential difference developed between silver foil and also copper plate. Due to this potential difference, these electrons are moving like this. That means photoelectric current will be starts increasing in the external circuit. Therefore, these type of cells are called as the photovoltaic cells. When a light falls on the oxide layer, the electrons emitted from the layer move into the copper plate, then oxide layer becomes positive and copper plate becomes negative. Hence, EMF is developed, so it behaves like a voltaic cell. Now, in general, what are the applications of photocells? Whatever it may be, photoemissive cell or photovoltaic cell or photoconductive cells. General uses of the photocells are, photoelectric cells are widely used in different fields. First one, it is used in recording and also reproduction of sound on film tracks. Second one, automatic on and off of the street lights. In burglar alarms and also in automatic open and close the doors in heavy industries or costly hotels. Next one, to control the temperatures in furnaces and chemical reactions. And last one is in counting missions also. Counting missions lo banks ఎక్కువ ఉపయోగిస్తుంటారు. In counting missions generally photocells are widely used. So this is the concept about the types of photoelectric cells and also applications of photocells. Are you understand? So next one is de Broglie matter waves. De Broglie matter waves. Very easy. It is a concept which are lying in chemistry also. So again, in case of interference, diffraction and polarization. Interference means it is nothing but the superposition of two light waves. Two light waves means, to explain the interference, light will be treated as a wave nature. Light is treated as a wave nature. Again, what is meant by diffraction? When a light is propagating through a slit or through an obstacle, there is a bending of light at the edges of the obstacle and encroaches within the geometrical shadow. Here also, this concept is also based on wave theory. Again, polarization means transverse nature of light explained by the concept of polarization. So in interference, diffraction and polarization, all these are the properties of light. So to explain these properties, light will be treated as the wave nature. Light is treated as the wave nature, and that means light is transmitting only in the form of waves. But whereas in case of photoelectric effect, when a light of sufficient energy is made to incident on the photometal, this is the photometal, incident on the photometal in the form of photons, energy of each photon is equal to h nu. So here the same light will be taken in the form of particles like photons. Therefore, in explaining the photoelectric effect, the same light will be treated as the particle nature. That means light has the dual nature. Light has dual nature. What is the actual property, actual characteristic of light? Means it is having wave nature always. But to explain the sum of the properties, let us assume the light is taken in the form of particles called photons. That means the light behaves like the wave nature at some times and also particle nature at the other times. That is called as the dual nature of light. But actual particles means material particles. The material particles means electrons, protons, neutrons. All these are taken as the material particles. These electron, proton and neutrons always exhibits the particle nature, because these are called as the particle nature, as the light which is having the wave nature. And to explain some more properties, it will behave like the particle nature. In the same way, actual particles like electrons, protons, neutrons, they will exhibit the particle nature. But some other times, these material particles also exhibits the wave nature according to nature law of symmetry. Light is only having wave nature, but in sometimes it will explain it will behave like the particle nature. But the material particles like electrons, protons, neutrons, they are having particle natures. But to explain some more properties, they will also behave like the waves. This is according to nature law of symmetry. The waves corresponding to the material particles are called as the matter waves, which are also called as the de Broglie waves. So de Broglie waves means matter waves are simply called as the de Broglie waves. So in general here, see here, suppose any charged particle, mass of the charged particle is m, It is moving with a velocity v. Moving with a velocity v. Then what is the momentum of the charged particle? Momentum P is equal to m into v. Momentum P equal to m into v. So let us consider a photon. Energy of the photon is equal to mc square. Energy E is also equal to equivalent to hc by lambda or h nu. This is also equal to hc by lambda. From this relation, c and c cancel. M into c, mass into velocity, is called as the momentum. Therefore, from this lambda is equal to h by p. Lambda means wavelength. Whose wavelength? Wavelength of the photon. Photon means it is a particle. Maybe if the particle behaves like the wave nature, its wavelength lambda should be equivalent to h by p. P is the momentum. Okay na? This lambda is also called as the de Broglie's wavelength. So simply de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h by p. This is the general formula for de Broglie's wavelength. Right? Okay. Suppose this is equation 1. Second, one more point. Suppose if a particle having mass m, starting from rest means initial velocity 0, it is accelerated through a potential difference of v volts, where v is equal to potential difference. Particle is accelerated through a potential difference of v volts. Then the maximum kinetic energy gained by the particle, half m v maximum square, is equal to ev. Small v represents velocity, capital V represents potential difference. This is one more point you should remember. Okay. De Broglie wavelength from equation 1, lambda is equal to h by p, or this is equal to h by root of momentum P is equal to 2m into kinetic energy. Relation between kinetic energy and momentum is equal to P is equal to root of 2m into ke, or this is equal to h by root of 2m into maximum kinetic energy gained by the particle is equal to ev. That's why ke is replaced by ev, where E is equal to charge on the particle and V is equal to potential difference to which the particle is accelerated. So that's why the general formula for de Broglie wavelength in terms of momentum h by p, in terms of kinetic energy h by root of